Failure usually hurts twice. The first pain comes from what happened. The rejection, the loss, the mistake, the moment you realize things were not going the way you planned. The second pain comes from what you tell yourself afterward. Maybe I am not good enough. Maybe I wasted my chance. Maybe everyone is moving forward except me. That second pain is the one that keeps you stuck. You may be able to erase a failure in 24 hours, but you can stop it from controlling your next 24 days, 24 months, or even the rest of your life. And that process starts with one uncomfortable truth. You are not suffering only because you failed. You are suffering because your mind has turned one event into a prediction about your future. Something went wrong, so your brain says everything will go wrong. One person rejected you, so your brain says nobody will accept you. One plan collapsed, so your brain says you cannot trust yourself anymore. But failure is evidence of what happened once. It is not proof of what must happen next. For the next 24 hours, your goal is not to become endlessly positive. It is not to pretend you are fine. Your goal is much simpler. You are going to separate the event from your identity, recover the lesson, and take one action that proves the story is not over. The first few hours matter because this is when emotions are loudest. Your mind will want to replay the moment. You will imagine different decisions, different words, different outcomes. You will keep returning to the same scene, as if thinking about it one more time might change it. It will not. So give yourself a limited amount of time to feel everything without trying to solve anything. Sit somewhere quiet. Put your phone away. Let yourself be disappointed, angry, embarrassed, or afraid. Do not judge the emotion, and do not build a permanent conclusion from it. Say this clearly to yourself. Something painful happened. I do not need to understand all of it right now. That sentence creates distance between you and the storm. Most people make one of two mistakes after failure. They either suppress the pain and pretend nothing happened, or they drown in it and call that honesty. Neither response helps. You need to feel the emotion, but you do not need to obey every thought the emotion produces. A feeling can be real without being accurate. You can feel worthless without being worthless. You can feel hopeless without having no options. You can feel behind without your life being over. Once the emotional pressure begins to drop, write down exactly what happened in plain language. Not the dramatic version. Not the self-punishing version. Just the facts. I applied, and I was rejected. I launched something, and people did not respond. I trusted someone, and the relationship ended. I made a decision, and it cost me money. I studied, and I did not pass. Notice how different facts sound from identity statements. I failed an exam is a fact. I am a failure is a verdict. A fact gives you something to work with. A verdict gives you a prison. Now ask a question that may feel difficult at first. What part of this was outside my control? Maybe the timing was wrong. Maybe another person made a decision you could not influence. Maybe the market changed. Maybe you did your best with limited information. Recognizing what you could not control is not making excuses. It is refusing to carry responsibility that does not belong to you. Then ask the question that actually creates growth. What part of this was within my control? This is where honesty becomes useful. Maybe you waited too long. Maybe you were underprepared. Maybe you ignored a warning. Maybe you depended on motivation instead of building a system. Maybe you chose comfort when the situation required courage. Do not use the answer as a weapon against yourself. Use it as a map. There is a major difference between saying, "I ruined everything," and saying, I avoided an important conversation, and next time I will have it earlier. The first statement creates shame. The second creates a strategy. By the middle of the day, you may notice something surprising. The failure itself has not changed, but its shape has. It is no longer a giant dark cloud. It is becoming a specific event with causes, limits, and lessons. That is when you need to protect yourself from another trap. The need to explain your failure to everyone. When something goes wrong, you may feel an urge to defend yourself, announce a new plan, or prove that you are still capable. Do not rush. You do not need to turn your pain into a public performance. Speak to one person you trust, someone who can listen without feeding yourself, pity or dismissing what happened. Tell them the truth, but avoid repeating the story 10 different ways. Every time you retell a failure as a tragedy with you at the center, you strengthen that identity. Tell the story once, then shift the conversation. Ask, "What do you think I am not seeing clearly?" Sometimes failure narrows your vision. You see the closed door, but not the skills you gained while trying to open it. You see the lost opportunity, but not the bad situation you may have escaped. You see the embarrassment, but not the information you now have. A trusted outside perspective can reveal what emotion hides. Then comes the most important part of the 24-hour reset. You must take one small action before you feel completely ready. This action should not be dramatic. It should be undeniable. Send one new application. Rewrite one page. Make one phone call. Return to training for 20 minutes. Apologize without defending yourself. Delete the plan that no longer works and create a simpler one. The size of the action matters less than what it proves. It proves that failure did not remove your ability to move. Many people wait for confidence before they act again, but confidence usually returns after action, not before it. You do not think your way into momentum. You move your way into it. Imagine someone learning to ride a bicycle. They fall, and for a few seconds, the ground feels like evidence that they should stop. But the fall is not separate from learning. The fall contains information. You leaned too far. You looked down. You lost speed. The next attempt is different because the failure taught your body something success could not. Your life works the same way. Success tells you what worked. Failure often tells you why, and why is more useful